So, it's been a minute since I did one of these, right? We're going to do a little vehicle vlog. Because why not? I decided to take a little further trip than I was going to take so I can do a little road vlogging. And since I'm going to be in that area, I'm going to get myself a Lee's. Lee's is my favorite hoagie place in the area. It's always been. It used to be right here, right near where I lived. Or where I live today, still to this day in Ardmore, but they since moved a couple times, and I guess didn't move, but there's one in a little ways away from me, but it's the closest one to me. So, you know, usually I kind of save Lee's for like big game situations, or you know, during football season with the Eagles, or you know, whatever. But you know, it's been a while, and I have a bit of a craving for it. So we're gonna go get a Lee's right now. Okay, we're gonna go get a Lee's. I think I'll get it for dinner. Let the traffic go by here. Guess it'd be helpful if I kind of remember which way I want to go. Right, that would be good. So yeah, what's been going on with MightyFan, right? The end of life, right? What's been going on? Well, I'm happy to say, I know last time I did a vid, I talked about the 94 MLB set that Lids has been putting out, and originally it was only in store. Yesterday they did a massive drop, total, you know, set drop on Lids HD. You know, the set has been kind of received a bit lukewarmly with collectors, and I think part of it is because people are just so used to those crazy colorways and you know food hooks and show and movie hooks and all sorts of these just wacky, you know, concoctions with these hats. So to see a set that's basically done, I don't want to say exactly traditionally, but in a bit of a traditional manner, where you just have the hat, a good gray underbrim, you know, it does have the big, you know, gaudy 125th side patch from 1994 on there, but it's just a regular hat, you know, there's nothing out, you know, just crazy, you know, neon, you know, UVs or any kind of thing like that, or colorway. Is basically your team hat from as close as they can get to the era from 1994 that you can get. But I love the set. As you saw, I have a few of them in hand already. They've all been really well executed to this point, in my opinion. Yes, it's a jersey hook for me, which is why I'm just super stoked about the set. I have a few of those 94 jerseys, and there'll be others because now I got the hat, so you know, combo wombo, the jersey has to happen. And I have a bead on some of these jerseys for some of these other teams that I got yesterday that I didn't have the jersey in hand for, including one that I'll talk about here momentarily once I make sure no one's going to hit me when I try to turn. This light is very strange. It's one of those where it turns for the main road, and even though they stop, you're still on red, but you can turn on red. But it's just one of those where, okay, can I go? It's okay if I go now, right? I can go. Then you kind of make your turn. 94 cents. So, yeah, people, yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not one of those hype beasts. Gotta get the hat because it's a popular hat. I need this. I don't have any of those bison hats. I don't really feel I really need any of those. It's those hats, and I'm not listen, I'm not hating. I'm not, you know, if someone, that's all they collect, that's awesome. I will always say, you gotta be you. I collect the way I do, you collect the way you do. And I know, you know, shout out to the Views from the Vault guys and that, you know, the FHS community and everything, but that's a logo that really hasn't hit me. And I know it's an uber popular logo. Everyone loves that bison logo. And I'm like, I mean, it's okay. You know, now, again, jersey head, right? I'm not really looking at that hat and saying, oh, I got this jersey, so maybe if I had something, I would feel a different way. And again, not to say I get every single hat to go with a jersey. Most of them do, but there are others that I get just because I like the look of the hat. But the Bison hat, that just never hit me. I mean, I look at that, I'm like, it's an okay logo. It's nice, a sliding Bison. I get it. It's cool. Okay. But people go, it just became the big thing, right? Everyone needs that hat. So I say that to say this. I look at that 94 set and I'm going crazy. Like, my eyes are going out of my skull. Like, oh my God, I love those, right? The jersey, I got the patch. I can get, combo-womboed up with the... So I went bananas with that set. I love that set, and I have some of them in hand. I really like the way the hat's executed. But a lot of people don't, because they're just there's nothing that pops to them with it, right? They're kind of, when you put that set up with against some of these other crazy sets that Lids has done, or Hat Club, or My Fitteds, or whoever, take your pick. Yeah, I mean, it's more plain Jane. It really doesn't, there's nothing just outlandishly eye-popping with it, right? So I think because people just kind of got too used to some of those other sets, then this one comes along, it's like, oh, okay. But it worked for me because I loved it, and I obviously had another reason to love it for jerseys. But because of that, I was able to grab all the ones I wanted to get yesterday. Now, I will say this, I don't know exactly how much they had, because I know sometimes when Lids HD does these drops for hats that are available in store, they're kind of limited to the quantity that they can get. I don't know if that was the case this time or not. I would assume it would be. I just had the mentality of I have to move as quick as I can, and I did. You can only get 2 hats at a time, which does kind of suck. You have to pay the shipping multiple times, but it is what it is. You're still I'm getting a discount because of my, Lids Club, but I just went with the mentality of I saw the set beforehand because Lids HD on Instagram did a live with Munfu and Manolo Prado, and they were showing the whole set, right? They had some in hand, and then what they didn't have in hand, they showed everything, hat for hat, team for team, the whole set. I was a little disappointed they didn't do a walking tiger for the Tigers, although that one may have sold out really quick. But they didn't. They just did the regular, the D, the Detroit D, and Old English D for all those hats. I still got one. I got the two-tone that Munfu was wearing in that live. I love that one. I do wish it was the Walking Tiger, but it is what it is. I have plenty of Walking Tiger hats. But the I saw the hats. I identified the ones I wanted to get right away. Like the first 2, I knew, okay, these might be big hitters. One of them, actually, I wasn't going to get. Then I had a chance of getting the jersey. And once that happened, I'm like, yeah, I got to get the hat. And in fact, it kind of didn't work out. So there was a Randy Johnson Mariners jersey on eBay. I don't have a Randy Johnson Mariners. I have his Diamondbacks jerseys. I have his Expos jersey. I don't have his Mariners, and I would really like to get one because that's really where he became Randy Johnson, right? The big unit in Seattle. And there was a teal 94 Randy Johnson, which was done by a customizer. And sometimes you are at the mercy with these stores, because if they run out, they run out, and they might show that they have like one available in your size, and then when you get it, sometimes then you get the message like, oh, sorry, out of stock or what have you. And that's what happened. I don't know. I did some digging. I saw the set that was coming out. I noticed that there was a 94 Randy Johnson sitting there and a teal one, which I really liked. I'm like, all right, I'm going to get this jersey and I'll add the Mariners hat for it. So I got the jersey ahead of time, and then I got the hat. And then late last night, I got an email from them, because the jersey was the last available in my size, and I got the message on eBay like, oh, sorry, not available, refunding you. And I'm like, yeah. I kind of wanted that big unit, but pause. But no, but I also had my eyes on an authentic Russell Athletic Ken Griffey Jr. 95, and I'm glad I got the hat that I did, because they had 3 Mariners 125 hats available. They had the regular blue, the navy blue, just your single tone navy blue. They had the 2-tone, which I got, the navy blue crown with the teal brim, and then they had the teal crown with the navy blue brim 2-tone. And I was thinking about that one, because the Randy, obviously, that I thought I was getting was a teal. And I'm like, oh, teal hat, teal jersey, that would really look nice. And I just went with the regular, because I knew that hat would go with more jerseys, because I did have that Griffey in mind. And I'm like, well, I guess I could wear the teal with the white, because it's a white jersey, it's a home white jersey. But I'm like, I know they wore I know, like, just me thinking, I'm like, I knew they wore the 2-tone navy blue crown with teal brim with the home jersey a lot. So let me just get that one. It will go with the Randy, it will go with Griffey. I can have that one hat for multiple jerseys. And I'm glad I did, because like I said, the Randy didn't happen, and I was able to grab that Ken Griffey Jr. I basically took the money that I got back, and I said, all right, I'll put it towards the kid. Which, it works out anyhow, because the kid's a vintage authentic, so, and I'm a big, Griffey fan. So that one worked big time, for me. But I knew Mariner hats usually fly. So the Mariners and the Astros were the first 2 I got. Then I came back around, because you only get 2 at a time. I was able to get the Tigers, I got the Cubs, I got the Rockies. Again, these are all hats that I got. I have the jersey in hand. The Mariners I'm going to be getting. And then I kind of went back. I got Slim his Angels. He wanted it. I told him I'd find it for him. And I'm glad I got when I did, because when I went back and looked later, I think the Angels were the first to go. I think they were the first to sell out. I also went ahead, and I know Bay Area and Reds are going to be proud. I also got the Giants and A's, because there's Giants and A's 94 jerseys that I know I want to get in the future. So the hat will go with them, obviously. And that was a set. I have never gone that crazy for a set, and I'm a hat guy. This one just hit different for me. Yes, it was jersey related, but I also love the look of that hat. It's just a classic clean hat with a big patch. The patch itself is great. I've always liked that 125 logo for the patch from the 94 season. So to have that on a hat, beautiful, beautifully done. I do still want to get the red Phillies, the regular red Phillies with the 125. And I think next time I go visit in Maryland, I'm going to, as Slim already knows, I got to get the fitted O's. I got the snap, and I'm happy with that. But the fitted O's is a little different, because it has the cartoon bird on the front, the face, basically. So I figure, all right, that's pretty cool. I kind of would like to get that. Yeah, but that set, it was a great set. Obviously, I think the one, and they couldn't do it because of reasons, but the Indians, or the Guardians, 94, they were the Indians, but obviously they couldn't do the old Chief Wahoo logo, so they just made it like the current Guardians hat. Still, it was a nice looking hat, but it's got the Guardians, Cleveland C on the front. It's a 2-tone, so it's navy blue with the red brim, but it's got the current logo. And it's like, well, 94, yeah. So, I understand why they couldn't do that. I mean, they got rid of the name, they got rid of the logo. It makes sense why they couldn't do it, but yeah, that was one of those that, and I don't have a jersey for that, so it wasn't a huge, like, kind of thing, but that was one. Like I said, they didn't do the Walking Tiger, which, if I do remember correct, they wore in 94, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that, but I believe they wore that hat in 94, but I could be wrong. Like I said, it is what it is. It wouldn't be the first time. Right? But I like what they did. I like that 2-tone Tigers I got. Like I said, it's a navy crown with an orange brim, and it has an orange and I wanted to make sure they get the road one, because the Alan Trammell I have that Mitchell Ness did years ago is the road jersey. So basically, it's the right hat for it. Not to say I always did it. Yeah, the Cubs, I had to get the two-tone, and I have that road Ryan Sandberg. I'm like, that hat's going to look so good with that jersey, whether or not they wore that hat as a road hat. And I think they did, because I think the solid blue they usually wear is the home one. And then they wear the two-tone for like the road and also the alternate blue. But even if they didn't, I would still have gotten that one over the just your regular blue Cubs hat. Like I said, there were so many good ones in that set. The Rockies, they didn't do it in a two-tone, but I forget if they wore two-tone in 94, because that was their second year in the league. They came in 93. People were complaining because they didn't do any Diamondbacks and Rays. They weren't around in 94. Those teams were established in 98. So they could have done it, but it really wouldn't have worked because they weren't around in 1994. I'm sorry, but they were created in 98. So it would have been historically inaccurate. Not to say they got everything correct historically on those hats, but putting two teams, making hats for two teams that weren't around in 94, I don't know if that would have been the... Look, those old, if they would have done like the old hats with that big patch on the side, it would have been hot. But it really wouldn't have worked. They weren't there during that year. So... like I said, I like the set. People didn't. People didn't like the fact that Lids HD was putting out a set that you can find in store. But the thing with that is, listen, when you go to your local stores, you're at the mercy of what they have. And I understand in the communities you can go around, and there's a lot of great people in the community. You can reach out to people. Hey, can you go to your local Lids and find me that Tigers hat or something? I'm sure they would have. But it's nice that they had the opportunity to put out the full set, for people like myself, who, when I go to my local Lids, I may have like 4, 1994 hats, and that's it. And 2 of them are going to be the Phillies, and maybe the Yankees or Boston. The Marlins one's everywhere. Maybe the Reds, but I'm kind of at the mercy of what my Lids is going to have. So when Lids HD does a drop of things that are in store, but you have the full gamut of the whole set, and maybe some fly quicker than others. I don't know. I know they put out the set for the Roy G. Biv 2.0s a week or so ago. Some of those kind of hung around. I didn't get any of them, but on Lids HD. But at least there was that opportunity, right? So I don't know. I think there was a lot of hate for things that really didn't have to be hate. And I get it. They used to do 2 drops a week. I think now they do 1. People want to see different stuff. People want to see different selection. I get it. But, again, it gave me the opportunity to pretty much cash out the set, and for the ones that I wanted anyhow. I think next week they're doing, like, the moon landing set, which looks really nice, but I'm out now. So I gotta be good until my next credit card cycle for hats. So that's what happened yesterday. I'm happy to report that I was able to get all the ones I wanted. It worked out. I just have to get them in the mail now, and we'll see. But so that happened. I know I'm getting a turn ahead the clock. Speaking of Randy Johnson, his Diamondbacks Mitchell Ness jerseys. Shout out to Anthony for that. Speaking of assists, right? He got from the stadium store out in Arizona. And of that set that Mitchell Ness did, the 2 I wanted, 3, the Griffey, the Diamondbacks, and the Rockies. So now I got the Diamondbacks. So I'm 1 out of 3. The problem with that set is I think it came out during COVID, and the availability really wasn't there. The sizes, I don't think they made as many as they would have during a normal type of year. So I think production, they didn't make as many. And they were in the store, I remember briefly, and I just never got them. And they just became scarce. A lot of times when I see them in smaller sizes, I I know Berto, you know, Nostalgia Boy, I know he's gotten some. I know other snacks. I know he got the Rockies one at one point. But yeah, they're kind of. And the other thing about those is they're similar to the batting practice jerseys in the fact that they're fit. So you want to go like a size up or so if you can for those. And a lot of times when I see them, they're just smaller sizes. You know, they're like, you know, large or something. I know it's not going to work. I actually ended up getting a 3X, and I feel that's going to probably fit like a 2X. So I think I'll be okay with that. You just can't find them in bigger sizes. So it is what it is. But I'm excited for that, you know, because the D-backs are one of the ones I wanted in that set. Shout out to Ayaz. I got a real nice jersey. I keep forgetting when he. I've made 2 offers to this one seller on eBay, and both times it was him. He hits me up on Messenger. He's like, "Hey." So I got a nice Mark McGwire jersey coming from him. A's 86. He had it custom by Bill Henderson because it was an old USA run, and back then with Mitchell and S, the baseball jerseys didn't have the names because they didn't have the naming rights. So if you get them now, you can have them send off to some customization place and they can put the name on the back. This one has the name on the back because he had it custom. So bright yellow Big Mac Oakland. Bay Area, I tell you what, Bay Area and Rez, they're going to be enjoying my channel. Showing some Bay Area love here, right? So that one will be coming. Griffey, like I said, the 94. And I think that's it. So yeah, productive 48 hours of collecting, that's for sure. I have to get over. It's the only thing about this, it comes up real quick. All right, let's see if I can do this. Yep. The exit kind of always sneaks up on me here. Coming into Conchi. Right? Coming into Conshohocken right here. Conchi. So that basically has been the news. I know. You know, I do want to also make mention of this. I know every now and then, you know, you get the comment like, "Oh my God, look at all your stuff. How much do you get? You must be real rich or whatever." I've always said this, and I always will. I'm not a rich person. I collect in excess, and I know I do. I'm not a wealthy person. Listen, I'm a fortunate person. I'll say that. I'm not wealthy, but I'm fortunate. I have a house. I have a vehicle. I have a good job, and you know, I'm able to get what I get. Maybe sometimes right or wrong. I try to be as good as I can. It's tough. But you find deals, you find ways of doing it. Listen, I don't even monetize on YouTube, right? You don't see any farmers commercials before you see my grinning face, right? Bump, 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 right? You don't see that. You don't see Applebee's commercials or anything like that. I'm not monetized. I'm as bare boned as you're going to get on YouTube. But I have a passion for it, and you know, sometimes the passion. Yeah, I mean, you have to be careful. You could really get yourself in trouble financially if you're not. Luckily, I haven't really gotten in trouble. Came close a couple times, I will admit. It's tough because there's so much out there, and not just that there's so much out there, there's so much availability to get these things, like the hats and the jerseys. You get them in store, you get them online, you find them in the groups. Everywhere. I mean, you can't look a place without seeing one, basically, if you're a collector, right? You exhaust all measures, you know, you kind of go through the whole gamut, and it is tough because there's so much there, and I'm one of those, as we know, I don't just focus on one or two areas. I'm looking at older stuff, I'm looking at newer stuff, I'm looking at, you know, so I don't kind of stay in a lane, even though I have to right now when I'm driving, but, so that makes it doubly tough for me, right? Like I just mentioned to start the video about that 94 set. All these hats to go with all these jerseys they have, right? It's tough. But you have to kind of understand the game, and you got to play it the best you can. But I'm not a wealthy person. I'm a fortunate person. Maybe you do cut corners here and there to get some stuff, other things, but it's just because this is what makes me happy, and too much in life, there's things that make you miserable, and there is aspects of this that can make you miserable. Not getting those items that you really want, missing out on something, but no, believe me, I'm not a wealthy person. I collect, and it's just something that I have great passion for, and it makes me happy. So that's why I do it. And I bring it to you because that makes me happy too, doing these videos and having this YouTube channel. And by the way, shout out to my IG. I reached over 1,000 subscribers on my IG page. Thank you all so much for that. It's a very humbling thing. I'm over 1,000 on YouTube and over 1,000 on IG, just for expressing something I have interest in, my passion, right? Jerseys and hats and collecting, and sports. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. Too much in life, you do things that you don't have fun with, right? Because you have to do this or that, right? It's good to just kind of escape and do things that you have fun with, right? Like making videos, vlogging on the road. As I'm going to Lee's, and Lee's is something I enjoy, right? Slim, but it's fun. It is something, like I said, and part of the reason I've always said I make this series is, to show the life of it. And I might not show every single thing. I don't have a camera crew following me around. I'm not like a reality program, right? But this is as best as I can do. But I enjoy collecting, and I have a real passion for it. The house kind of shows that. I'm happy to have a place that other Jersey heads like to go to. They want to, meet up there, and I always love that. I have so many pictures I still want to get it, frame up, and I want to do frame some pics on in one of the rooms of the different get-togethers that we've had and such. But it's cool, But with that, yeah, I mean, there are times that you're gonna have arguments within the family, and things are gonna happen, and is it always great experiences? Yeah, I mean. The question sometimes comes up is, are there any times where you butt heads? And yeah, in collecting, listen, I mean, when you're going after something that other people in a community are, you're going to come across items that you're going to, you might get that someone else wanted, or they might get that you wanted, and it happens. I know Slim and I, and I don't think I'm, crossing any lines here. It's happening with us. We both, listen, Slim and I, in some ways, are like-minded when it comes to collecting the type of thing that we're looking for, right? Our eyes get drawn to certain things. So, and Slim, I hope you don't mind. Recently, yeah, I mean, I legit checked him for a jersey a couple months ago, and it had a best offer on it. And what happened was he had already put an offer on it, and it sold, and he was the one that got it. It was a jersey I wanted. I had interest in it. I just didn't know for sure if it was good or not, so I sent it to him. But he had already put his offer on it. And, it's fair is fair, right? So he got it. I didn't. And, yeah, at first I was kind of in my feels about it, because it's like, no, I legit checked you. This is one I kind of wanted to get. But then I'm like, at the end of the day, it's like, well, you know what? He claimed it first. It was all fair. It wasn't like he did it just because I said that to him, right? So another time I got something that he wanted, and it was funny because it was the same team. It was two jerseys from the same team, and he was in his feels about it because he wanted it, and I ended up getting it. But I didn't do it maliciously. I did it because I wanted the jersey. I didn't. Things happen. Things happen in the community, and you are going to run into times where two of us are going to want something, and one person's going to get, and the other person isn't. It's hard. You know, look, I consider these guys good friends, and it's tough when that happens, because you do have a friendship, you do have a a kindred spirit with one another, in this game, and it's tough. I remember a time where Bling King got something that I really had interest in. Now I ended up getting this player's jersey anyhow later on, but yeah, I mean, it was like, I wanted to get that, but again, that was a jersey I let sit for a while. He got it before I did. What's fair is fair, right? Other heads have gotten jerseys before I could. I've told the story many a time, and it's very true, about that Rick Barry All-Star jersey. I let that damn thing sit too long, and way too long, and Slim even warned me about it, and I was just in one of those situations where there kept being this and that and other things that kept popping up, and I guess I just got too comfortable with that jersey just being available. It was there for so long, and then another jersey had got it, and I wasn't able to get it because I kind of let it sit there, and me letting it sit there allowed this other jersey head to get it. But you know what, it is what it is. Listen, there's no I park closer to Dollar Tree. There is no there's never a perfect scenario, right? When you have a lot of people looking for the same kind of thing, things can happen. And there's Lee's right there. Again, but there are clashes. It's like the old movie, A Clash of the Titans, right? Clash of the Titans. It happens in our community, and it does, and it's tough, because again, you do have friendships and relationships with these others in the community, and yeah, when it happens, it's a difficult thing, but it's unavoidable. When you have park somewhere else. I don't know. Rez, I still haven't mastered vlogging with people kind of watching me. So there was someone in that car. I'm like, I don't want them to look at me as I'm talking. I think I'll park. I know I'm very indecisive sometimes when it comes to parking lots. I think I'll just go over here. This looks like a good spot right here. There's no one in that car. Okay, now I can. Now I can finish off my spiel here, right? It happens. And it is something I kind of wanted to talk on a little more, and I got kind of carried away with the hats and whatnot, but it happens. Like I said, it's not a perfect world. It's not perfect. There are going to be clashes. There are going to be times where things are picked up from, one person, the other person really wanted it. It happens, That's the perils of eBay. That's the perils of Poshmark and Mercari. A lot of eyes are going to be on it, and your eyes could be on it, and a buddy of yours' eyes could be on it in a community, or a couple buddies in the community. And it's tough. Yeah, I mean, when you see that, in fact, again, hey, all respect to Slim. I don't mean this any kind of mean-spirited way, but I was there visiting, and Slim got the jersey, and he's showing me a pickup video. I'm like, yeah, there it is. He knows which one it was. Dykstra. But no, it's out there. I can get it today if I wanted, but I need the funds. But no, it is. It happens. It's happened many a time. I've gotten stuff away from other jersey heads. They've gotten stuff away from me. I think it's just one of those that you kind of say, you roll with the punches at times. It's going to happen, and it's just, it is what it is, right? I'm not going to let that affect like a friendship for me. I'm not going to let it affect, how I feel about someone. Listen, they're a collector too. I'm a collector. I know what that mentality is when you see something that you really want to get, even if you shouldn't be getting it at the time. I do that sometimes. But you just, it's something you got to have, and you make it happen. Sometimes you do step on toes, and that's just what it is. That's the unfortunate reality when you have an interest and you have kind of the same kind of eye towards things as other people do, right? You know, you have kind of similar interests, this is a similar type of jersey that other people that you know, do have interest in too. So, it happens. It does happen. It's tough. And but I will say this, I never do anything maliciously, right? I'm not going to buy a jersey knowing, oh, this person I've let things go plenty of times, even if I really wanted it, because I knew, someone else was going to go after it. And it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing to do that, because as much as, the passion you have for it and something you'd like to have, but no, it is what it is. But other people have done it for me too. Slim's done it many times for me. He's actually picked up things for me, which knowing at the time I couldn't get it, he got it for me, and I'm always thankful for that. Because again, Slim and I kind of know each other's interests. We know what each other kind of likes. So sometimes, if we see something we think the other person like, we'll send it to them, or some cases help them out, right? It happens. Again, that's the beauty of a community like this. That's the beauty of friendship. And I'm like I said, I'm I'm not a wealthy man, but I'm a fortunate man. I have many good friends in this community. I have many great connections in the community. And I'm fortunate to have a situation that I have where I have my own house, where I have my own vehicle, where I'm able to, live my life, and it's something that I know some people might struggle with. So I do consider myself fortunate in that regard. It's an important aspect of life, is to try to live as comfortably as you can. And I know it's tough. Bills, I get the bills. I see the bills every month, and it's like, but you do what you have to do to pay them. And Slim has always said this, and I believe in it too. As long as you pay your most important, as long as you can pay your most important bills every month, the rest is on you. You do what you have to do to get these pickups. As long as it doesn't interfere with paying to keep your place running and to keep your vehicle running and what have you, you do what you gotta do. So, listen, I think that's gonna be the closing point for another vehicle vlog here from MightyFan. I thank you all for watching as always. I'm gonna go head into the couple places here in this little mini mall, including Lee's. And if you're ever in the area, you got to get Lee's. Lee's is a must. It's just one of those things. Like, people. I don't eat cheesesteaks because I'm a vegetarian. I know it. The Views from the Vault guys and the FH, boy, they had a lot of fun with me when we first started introducing myself to them. They couldn't believe that a guy from Philly never ate a cheesesteak and is a vegetarian. Well, we do exist. It does happen. Soft pretzels, though, and hoagies. Cheese hoagie, veggie hoagies. I do those pretty good. But yeah, but people have their favorite, like, steak places, right? The cheese steak places they like to go. For me, it's a hoagie. It's hoagie. So it's Lee's. Gotta have Lee's. Wawa's fine. Other places are good. Lee's is numero uno for me. And it's probably the reason why I don't go all the time, because I like it being a special place. I like it being like a special treat every once in a while, like it will be today, when Slim and Adam come over. It's something that I don't want to do all the time, because I still want to kind of make it that special thing, So anyhow, that's my spiel about that. As we move on through this overcast Saturday. It was a bit rainy today. It is July 9th, 2022. And again, little of everything today, right? A little hodgepodge thing. Some hat talk, some collecting talk, and some food talk mixed in too. So you never know what you're going to... Shout out to my Phillies too. They're playing pretty good right now, even without their the reigning MVP of the National League, Bryce Harper. Unfortunately, he makes the All-Star team, the first ever National League DH starter in an All-Star game, his first All-Star bid as a Philly, and he's hurt. In Philly, we just, it's just the way it goes. But I'm happy they're playing good baseball right now. Rob Thompson has them playing really good. It's nice to have a manager that doesn't just have his nose in a binder the whole game like we've had in the past. Baseball is about feel. Baseball is about routine. And you know what? It's nice to have a manager now, in the interim that he is. So far, it's been a small sample size, but he manages with feel and he manages with gut. And baseball has always been a sport about routine. It's like the old speech that James Earl Jones gave in Field of Dreams. Again, it's been rolled over by knocked down by an army of steamrollers and be brought back up again. Baseball, regardless of what they do to the sport, it's always going to be about routine, and players got to know where they're going to play. The lineup's got to be there. It's like Girardi. Every day it was a different lineup. The guys were in different, but you got to keep a lineup consistent. And I know they have a platoon at center field and at second base right now, but it's about routine. The top guys in the lineup know where they're hitting. Let them be in those positions. You're going to struggle. Baseball's the biggest sport with failure. You're going to fail more times than not in baseball, right? It happens, right? But you still got to have that routine. You got to have feel for the game. You got to manage with that. You got to go with those instincts. Does it always work? No. But I like what I'm seeing so far. Even without one of their best players, maybe their best player, and Bryce Harper in the lineup right now, they're still finding ways to win. They win 2-0 last night in St. Louis. A pitching duel between Wheeler and Wainwright, an old school pitching duel between Wheeler and Wainwright, and Phillies get a win. Some weeks ago, or about a little over a month ago, or maybe 2 months ago, whatever it was, with Girardi, that's probably a loss last night. That's an extra inning loss. But they found a way to get a win, right? Is it all Girardi's fault? No. The players and whatnot, but they're finding a way to get it done with Rob Thompson so far. And I know there's still lots of season left, but it's good to see. It's good to see. We'll get Harper back. We'll get I'm blanking on his name all of a sudden. We get Gene Segura back, two of the better, hitters coming back in the lineup to go with a potent lineup already. It's a lot of fun with a PHUN. It's a lot of fun, and I'm hoping that this season ends unlike the last 10 years in a playoff berth. Even if it's a wild card, whatever, I'm hoping to get to a playoff game this year. I've never been to a playoff game in baseball. I would love to do that, and hopefully this year will be the year. If they can get one out of the next 3 games against the Cardinals in this series in St. Louis, they'll have the season series win against the Cardinals, and that's big because that's a tiebreaker. They already have it against the Brewers and the Padres. So if they can get against the Cardinals, that's big. That's big. As long as no squirrel runs out in the field in St. Louis, hopefully they can get one of the next 2. So last night was big, getting that win to start the series. Now they got 3 more. Get at least one. Would be awesome to win the series, but get one out of the next 3, split the series, and you get the season win against the Cardinals, and that's first tiebreaker, and that's big. Tiebreakers at the end of the year could come in big. So let's hope for the best. So go Phillies. Let's keep this thing going. I'm enjoying it. Obviously, because it would be nice to not just have a countdown for Eagles, in the summer, let's hope for continued success for our Fighting Phils, right? Anyhow, that's my little spiel on that, and I'm going to get going for real right now. So what do you always got to do? You always got to leave those likes. Leave the likes. Feel free to leave a comment below. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already done so, and make sure to hit the bell icon so you always get notified to videos of yours truly, and you never want to miss an episode because you never know what's going to be. It could be from the road, it could be in a mall or a store, it could be at home, it could be wherever I am, right? So thanks as always, and I hope you enjoyed this another episode of vehicle vlogging with MightyFan. All right, everyone, take care.